Hi, I'm presenting my Milestone 1 for assignment 2, student number S5012588. I've recreated the master view from my favorite foods app, and just modified it to use favorite eateries. You're able to add new eateries, and you can see down here on the side that they're being added as and saved into the JSON file. You can make edits on them from here. We can do something like that. I'll go up to here and place in my image, and I'll drag this one down to position 2, and yeah, it looks like it's done. So if we save that, and that's not loading very happily. I might have chosen a bad image, but that's okay. I'll come back to that. Okay, so now if I stop the app, give it a moment, and then restart the app, all those changes that I've made, it's all been reordered, and everything's come through. And I'll try with another image once I've gotten through the next part. So if you jump into a thing, you're able to edit the story about the eatery. I eat here every day. And I won't mess around with that, but that's changed. You can add user reviews, but I've got a small problem, and it's just because, and I'll show it in code later, but I'm unpacking the reviews into another model and not keeping that to save back into my my JSON file. So my JSON is always pulling this single review and never the ones that I've added to my new models object, because it's by unpacking it, I've detached it from the overall model. And if I hit edit, they disappear, and done. And I think that if I stop and start the app again, that comment probably won't save correctly. If I jump in, yeah, and that hasn't saved. But I think if I instead modify that to save, but all the other ones have saved in. It's just that this one is being unpacked, and I need to correct that. So my code structure is very similar from the first assignment. I've broken down I've done my separation of concerns so that I have entities, which are just the class models with their regular parameters that they need to do the functions that I want. I figured out a problem with my first assignment that I had these variables not publishable, or not published, so they when you would make changes to the binding, they often wouldn't lock in for some reason, for the reason that they weren't published. And then I've got my models, which are just to make them codable, observable, and that they have their CRUD actions with the save function. I've broken down my utilities again as well, so I have all my loading and saving in a single file, so that this can be replicated throughout the project, and I don't need to repeat this process. And then just my views, which are the content view, which is created from the app view, and then that steps down into the list view, which is just a list of all the objects as navigation links, and so that you can see all the eateries separately. And then that steps down into a detail view, which is the hard details of each thing, and that steps down into a review view, where you can see the reviews underneath the review heading, and then there's a sub view inside of this where there's a content view. And that's just so that I can track the edits and unpack everything. And if I jump back to list view, I can show the problem that I was talking about earlier. Oh, it's actually in review view, I think. Oh, detail view, I guess. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Okay, so here I'm unpacking my model so that I can pass it down to the review view. And then obviously, since I'm not saving this model back into eatery.reviews, it's never going to save in correctly, and I'll need to modify that. And then that's it, I think.